And on this video, we're going to be going over the state of the Colorado Rockies. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast on the Laracuente Legend Network. And as I said in the open, today we are going to be discussing the state of the 2021 Colorado Rockies. But before we get into it, make sure if you haven't already done so, you smash that like, subscribe, and the little bell so that you're notified every single time we drop new content and allow us to continue pushing up the YouTube algorithm to bring you even more content each and every single week. So let's get into it. Now, to understand what the Rockies have done and are going to do this year, we have to begin with the trading of Nolan Arenado. Now, this was the face of the franchise for the Rockies for a very long time, ever since Troy Tulowitzki was traded, and prior to that was Todd Helton. Now, when you look at what Nolan being traded away means for the Rockies, it means that they're going into a rebuild mode. Ever since Nolan would sign his extension with the Colorado Rockies, we knew that it was just a matter of time before they traded him away. And it seemed as if almost immediately after the ink was dry, the Rockies were looking to move Arenado. Now they have finally done so, as they traded him away to the St. Louis Cardinals, something that we covered here on the Laracuente Legend Network. I will leave links to that video down in the show notes below, as well as up in the YouTube card. But when you look at what that now means for the Colorado Rockies, it means that they have to fill out this roster. And one way that they've done that is by signing absolutely no major league contracts this offseason. They have signed quite a few players to minor league deals with invites to spring training, and that's how the roster is going to be filled out. Veterans that are looking to make a good second impression and get back to the major leagues, as well as some young guys potentially who could get some starts. Now, the Rockies, much like the Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers, and Pittsburgh Pirates, have brought in quite a few veteran players in order to try to fill out a roster that's even somewhat presentable going into the 2021 season. Whether or not that actually is going to help the team is something we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But as of right now, the Rockies really don't have much star power as they used to going into the 2021 campaign. So let's get into the state of the rotation for the Colorado Rockies. Now, I do think that there are 4 legitimate starters that the Rockies have at the front end of their rotation. When you look at Jon Gray, Kyle Freeman, Antonio Senzatella, and German Marquez, this is a solid 4-man rotation. Now, from there, they're going to have guys try to fill in and see who picks up that 5th and final spot in the rotation. The Rockies are a team that I do believe will likely implement a 6-man rotation as well, so we're going to see some kind of influx and rotations of sort through that final rotation spot. However, when you look at what this rotation means for the Rockies, they're not likely to contend, despite how good I think that these 4 guys can be. So all 4 of these guys are likely going to be available at some point this season and find themselves on the trade block. The one that's most likely, in my opinion, that is going to be moved is German Marquez. How quickly that happens is going to be dependent on how quickly the Rockies fall out of contention in the National League West. As we jump into the state of the bullpen, there are a couple of names in the Rockies bullpen that have been heard before: Daniel Bard, Michael Givens, Scott Oberg. Outside of those 3 names, there really aren't a ton of names that many people on a national level will know. So, much like the 5th spot in the rotation for the Colorado Rockies, I do believe that there's going to be a bullpen by committee here and an influx of young and veteran talent kind of mixing their way in and out of the Rockies bullpen. All in all, when you look at this team, that there is a lot of questions that have to be made and have to be asked about this pitching staff as a whole, and not just the pitching staff. So as we jump into the state of the offense of the Colorado Rockies, it begins and ends with a man named Trevor Story. Outside of Story, there's one other player that has any kind of name recognition and value at this moment, and that's Charlie Blackmon. But I think with the aging Blackmon, he's going to be less of a threat, as the Rockies will have even less protection in the lineup for he and Trevor Story. And because of the fact that there is going to be a lack of protection for Trevor Story, I don't think that he's going to have as good a season as he potentially could playing for a team that was actually contending. When you look at what Story can be, this is, according to MLB Network and the Shredder, the #1 shortstop in all of Major League Baseball. And I do believe that he is among the very elite of the position. Story is a guy who honestly does not really seem to have a weakness at the shortstop position. He hits for a decent average, he hits for power, he plays very good defensively. And when you look at what he is capable of doing, he would be capable of elevating a contender from wild card status to World Series champion. He is that good of a player. So I do believe that at some point this season, Trevor Story will no longer be on the Colorado Rockies roster. Now, as we close out here and jump into the state of the franchise, this is without question a rebuilding team. Like I said previously about the Rangers, Mariners, and Pirates, this is going to be one of those franchises that is going to suffer through many, many losses. It is very likely that Germán Márquez and Trevor Story will no longer be a part of this team by season's end. And there's honestly potential that other players will not be Rockies at the end of the season as well. This team is going to go through quite a bit of a tough stretch in terms of rebuilding and getting back to a level of prominence and postseason contention. But they do have the assets to be able to make some moves and make the smart and right moves to be able to regain some very, very strong pieces for the farm system. And if they can do that, this rebuild would last a little less than what it looks like at this moment in time. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What are your feelings about the Rockies? Are they going to be better than what I'm expecting? Because I don't have very high hopes for them going into the 2021 campaign. But let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section below, and we'll discuss it further. As always, if you haven't already done so, make sure you smash that like, subscribe, and bell so that you're notified each and every time we drop new content here on the Laracuente Legend Network, as it does a huge service for us and allows us to continue pushing up the YouTube algorithm. To get the full Laracuente Legend Network experience, make sure you head over to patreon.com, search for the Laracuente Legend Network, and join us there, as it is your support that's going to allow us to continue bringing this content each and every single week. So I will catch you guys when the latest news, notes, or my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions need to be dropped about the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.